is saying rude things about Allah.
And you are saying rude things about my case.
Mind Your Language was a British sitcom that debuted in 1977 and quickly became one of the most popular TV shows of its era. Set in a London language school, the show humorously portrayed a diverse group of adult students from various countries struggling to learn English. Its unique premise combined cultural clashes, language barriers, and the chaos of the classroom, resulting in widespread laughter from audiences both in the UK and internationally. At its peak, the show attracted over 18 million viewers, making it a significant part of British pop culture. However, beneath the surface of its comedic success, the show was walking a tightrope of controversy. Its humor heavily relied on ethnic stereotypes and caricatures, which were considered funny by many viewers at the time but would later be seen as problematic. Different characters, representing different nationalities, often found themselves portrayed through exaggerated accents and cliched behaviors, which sparked debates on racial sensitivity and representation. For decades, Mind Your Language was both loved and criticized for its approach to comedy. The show's international appeal was undeniable. It was exported to numerous countries and translated into various languages. Many non-English speaking viewers related to the struggles of learning English and appreciated the humor derived from cultural misunderstandings. But as social attitudes began to shift in the late 1970s and early 1980s, criticism grew louder. What had once been considered harmless fun started to feel outdated and offensive, especially as conversations around race and ethnicity gained prominence. So, how did a show with such massive popularity come to an abrupt end? Was it one particular moment, or a culmination of growing discomfort? In this video, we'll take you behind the scenes to uncover the controversial scene that ultimately sealed the fate of Mind Your Language, exploring what happened, why it caused such uproar, and how it reflects larger cultural changes in society. The turning point for Mind Your Language came during the filming of its third series in 1985, several years after the show's initial success. While the series had always pushed the boundaries with its humor, one particular scene crossed a line for many viewers and ITV executives alike. This scene involved a classroom skit where the students performed exaggerated impressions of their own nationalities, a comedic device that quickly morphed into a parade of stereotypes that some found outright offensive. In the scene, characters paraded their national quirks to an extreme degree. For example, the Italian student was portrayed as overly emotional and loud, the French character exaggeratedly romantic and flirtatious, while the Indian student was reduced to cliché gestures and phrases. The scene intended to be a light-hearted reflection of cultural differences, but it instead amplified the racial and cultural caricatures to a point where it became uncomfortable to watch for many. ITV executives grew increasingly concerned as viewer complaints poured in. What was once a hit show now faced criticism from various groups, including community organizations and media watchdogs, who argued that the show was perpetuating harmful stereotypes and fostering racial prejudice rather than bridging cultural gaps. The executives, fearing damage to the network's reputation, felt pressured to reconsider the show's future. Behind the scenes, tensions rose as cast members and production staff debated the line between comedy and offensiveness. Some defended the scene as true to the show's spirit and a satire of misunderstandings, while others admitted that times had changed and the humor was no longer acceptable. This controversial scene, in many ways, became the final straw, a catalyst that forced ITV to pull the plug on Mind Your Language. After the controversial scene aired, the backlash was swift and intense. Letters of complaint flooded ITV, and the media seized upon the controversy, sparking debates about race, representation, and the boundaries of comedy on television. What had once been seen as harmless humor was now being dissected as insensitive and out of touch with the evolving social climate of the 1980s. The cast and crew felt the pressure too. Some actors expressed regret, acknowledging that the show's humor, while intended to entertain, might have unintentionally reinforced negative stereotypes. Others, however, maintained that the show was a product of its time and that viewers should understand it within the context of 1970s and early 80s social norms. This split highlighted the wider cultural reckoning occurring not just in entertainment, but across society. ITV's decision to cancel Mind Your Language was met with mixed reactions. Loyal fans lamented the loss of a show that had brought laughter and lightness into their homes. Critics, on the other hand, saw the cancellation as a necessary step toward more respectful and thoughtful media portrayals. The controversy around the show became a symbol of a broader shift, the growing awareness of how media impacts cultural perceptions and the responsibility of broadcasters to promote inclusivity. Over time, Mind Your Language became a case study in how comedy must adapt to changing social values. The show's abrupt end marked the close of an era where ethnic and racial stereotypes were widely accepted as comedic material, paving the way for more nuanced and sensitive approaches in television writing. Looking back, Mind Your Language holds a complicated legacy. On one hand, it was a groundbreaking show for its time, bringing multiculturalism and language learning into mainstream entertainment. It introduced audiences worldwide to a diverse cast and highlighted the humorous challenges of communication across cultures. Many viewers fondly remember the show's lighthearted spirit and the memorable characters who became household names. On the other hand, the show serves as a reminder of how comedy that relies heavily on stereotypes can age poorly and cause harm. The controversial scene that ended the show symbolized a cultural shift, a moment when audiences and networks started to demand more thoughtful, respectful representation in media. Today, many of the jokes that once sparked laughter now prompt critical reflection on the impact of racial and cultural caricatures. The story of Mind Your Language also offers important lessons for content creators. It highlights the fine line between satire and offense and underscores the importance of adapting to changing social contexts. Comedy can be a powerful tool to unite people and challenge prejudices, but it requires awareness, empathy, and responsibility to avoid reinforcing harmful biases. In the end, Mind Your Language remains a fascinating chapter in television history, a show that both entertained millions and sparked important conversations about race, culture, and representation. Its rise and fall remind us that humor, while timeless in many ways, must evolve alongside society's values to truly connect and resonate.